Having rock solid confidence is often the magic ingredient to getting the life you want, from your dream job to meaningful relationships to an overall sense of happiness. And yet there are 5 habits that you might be doing every single day that are destroying your confidence. Today in the video, I'm going to go through each and every one of them and of course, let you know what you can do to change that so that you can have the confidence to have the life you truly want. Build that amazing confidence and you can go after your dream job. You can develop relationships that have the kind of impact that you want in your life, and you can give yourself that overall sense of well-being. But if you don't develop that sense of confidence, if you allow these habits to continue to erode at your self-esteem and your confidence, then we run the risk of not building that beautiful life and instead settling for way lower than you deserve. Habit 5 is setting the bar too low. This is essentially setting to ourselves of what we are capable of achieving, and also send a message to the world that we are not able to do better. So an example of this is knowing the kind of job you want, that perfect job that you know would complete you, that you know you would be able to bring something unique to, but you set the bar lower. You go after jobs that are a little bit under that are less fulfilling and less important perhaps. And by doing that, you stay within your comfort zone. You allow yourself to not reach further. And that can feel like a safer option, of course. But what it does is sends you the message that you're not gonna get there, you're not gonna reach higher, and you're not capable of doing more. Setting the bar too low is actually really dangerous. If you say to yourself and the world that you are only capable of so much, then that's all you will ever achieve. And it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you don't aim higher, then you're not going to reach higher and you will only ever achieve so much. And then you will believe that you are only capable of achieving so much. When we set the bar low, so for example, we don't go after that amazing dream partner, that person who just ticks all the boxes, because we don't believe we're capable of contributing something to that person's life, or we don't feel that we are equal to that person, then we send a message to ourselves and to the world that we're not. And so we settle for less and we go for someone who doesn't tick all the boxes. Habit number 4 is rumination. So rumination is the destructive pattern of constantly thinking over things that have not gone well. Sometimes that's conversations that you've had, a conflict, or an issue that's come about where you have not performed your best. You have not contributed in a way that you are proud of. Things just basically haven't gone your way. Now, we all experience this, sometimes on a day-to-day basis. That's normal, that's part of being human. But the rumination comes from obsessing over that mistake or that conflict or the thing that you wish had gone differently. When we ruminate, we are constantly living in the past and wishing things had gone a different way. It becomes an obsessive thought process. And when you ruminate, you're reinforcing the negative. If we look at the flip side of that, which is positive visualization, and most of the most successful people in the world point to a use of visualization that has contributed to their success, to the achievement of their goals, then we can see how powerful our thoughts can be when we imagine what we are going to do. So if you visualize like an athlete does when they visualize running the marathon, and they visualize it in the most positive way, and that sets themselves up for success. Rumination, looking backwards at how things have gone wrong, just reinforces the negative and means that when you go out to try something new, it's that negative experience that you are most focused on, the mistakes that you've already made, instead of having this clean slate and believing that you can do more, believing that you can do great things. The act of rumination, and if it has become a habit in your life, could be causing serious damage to your sense of self-esteem and to your ability to go out there and do your thing. The number 3 habit that is destroying your confidence is social media comparison. Now, most of us are guilty of jumping on those social media sites and scrolling through, looking at other people's lives, and that twinge of envy, or that feeling that they have got it all sorted out, or they have this incredible life, and you hold it up as a mirror against your own and begin to feel less than. Can have a seriously detrimental effect to your confidence and your sense of self-worth. Of course, we know on a conscious level that most people glamorize their social media life. It's not a true picture of how they're actually experiencing their day-to-day, but still, we absorb that impact of what they are doing and how beautiful it all looks, those filtered photographs. And if we're buying into that comparison culture that the social media age has brought into effect, it means that we feel like we cannot compete, or that everything in our life is less amazing than what's going on out there. Another aspect of how the social media comparison culture can affect our confidence is when we start believing that our real life is not as good as our online presence. Most people, and this may be true for you, will put a rosy picture of their life onto social media. It's completely normal. That's what those platforms are designed for. And yet we may start believing that what we're putting out is better than what we're actually living. And that can make you feel less confident in what you actually have to offer. With confidence, we want to get to a place where we accept and celebrate all of who we are, warts and all, making sure that we're constantly striving to grow and evolve, but being content with who we are and what we bring to every situation. Social media comparison is a habit that can detract from that capability and that strength. If these habits are starting to feel achingly familiar, don't worry, I've got your back and I will tell you exactly what to do to stop them. Let's move to habit 2, which is deflecting compliments. You know, when someone says, "Oh, you look amazing," and your immediate response is to start explaining why actually you don't look so amazing, or it's just the makeup, or to respond with disbelief, or to assume that they're actually trying to get something from you. Deflecting compliments and not being able to absorb them for what they truly are has 2 negative impacts. One, of course, is that it means that you're not receiving this incredible response, that you're not actually listening to what's being said. So if someone says, "Wow, you did an amazing job with this," and your response is to come up with excuses or to explain how actually they've got it wrong and you didn't really do an amazing job, but you had a lot of help, means that you haven't allowed yourself to absorb that incredible compliment. When we absorb compliments, when we allow ourselves to take them on board and to go, "Oh, you know what? I've done something great and someone else has recognized it," that boosts your confidence. That builds you up. That adds to your sense of self-worth and self-esteem, which means you can then carry that into the next thing you go to do. You can point to it and say, "I did something amazing then, and other people recognized it. I can do something amazing again." But the other thing that deflecting compliments does is it actually sends a really negative message to the person who's given that compliment. If they have taken the time to commend you on something that you've done, and you meet that with a dismissal or a contradiction of it, then you're saying to them, "I don't really respect what you have just said to me. I don't believe you. I don't trust you." And that's a pretty negative message to give to that person who's taken the time to compliment you. The number 1 habit that is destroying your confidence is negative self-talk. This is something we talk a lot about on the channel, and if you recognize that you speak in a negative way about yourself to yourself, then it's one of the habits that you need to change ASAP in order to go and have the life you want. Negative self-talk can destroy you from a fundamental level. So examples of negative self-talk is that narrative saying, "I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't do this, I don't know how, I'm not experienced, I don't belong here." All of these comments that we say to ourselves, sometimes without even realizing that they're going on, means that we are setting ourselves up for failure. We are not allowing for the greatness of who we are to affect our chances in life. Sometimes negative self-talk has been going on for decades. And when I speak to people, when I work with them one-on-one, they start to notice this negative narrative and realize that actually it's something that they have accommodated in their life for as long as they can remember. Sometimes it originates with other people's comments that we then absorb and turn into our own inner dialogue. So maybe that's parents or teachers or siblings or friends when you were a child who would say things, you're lazy, you're no good, you never try. And we absorb that and turn it into our own reality. As soon as you can start to recognize that negative self-talk is an issue for you, you will begin to see how it has permeated so many opportunities and chances in your life, keeping you from ever truly fulfilling your personal greatness. And of course, that negative self-talk is really just a message to yourself that you are no good. And that translates into disastrous sense of confidence and rock bottom low self-esteem. So let's recap these 5 habits that are destroying your confidence and causing you to have rock bottom self-esteem. They are setting the bar too low, rumination, social media comparison, deflecting compliments, and that negative self-talk. But the good news is, those habits, if you've recognized them in yourself, they don't have to stick around. And you can build your confidence. You can build your sense of self-esteem. And when you do, you're able to create the life you want, design that perfect job, have meaningful, important relationships, and build an overall sense of fulfillment and happiness, which is exactly what you deserve in life. If you're ready to say enough is enough, and to shift that low confidence and that lack of self-esteem into something that is powerful, where you feel that you can go out there and achieve what you want to achieve, then I invite you to check out my course. I'll put a link in the description below. This is designed for you to help you build that confidence and that self-esteem so that you can go out there and live the life you truly want, so that you can find that dream job or turn your current job into one that has more meaning for you, so that you can develop your relationships, go out there and find relationships that actually value your own sense of self, and so that you can have a greater sense of fulfillment and overall happiness in your life. So have a look at that description box below where I'll put a link to the course, and also leave me a comment. Which of these 5 habits is showing up in your life? Or maybe it's all 5 of them. And what are you going to do about it? In the meantime, to start knocking that negative self-talk on the head, check out this video. It's only about 10 minutes long. I'll see you over there.